Everybody, we have a lot of news to cover in today's video. President Biden and many Democrats in Congress are all trying to get the stimulus bill passed. And they're also trying to pass the infrastructure bill, which might include a fourth stimulus check. So welcome back to my channel, folks. In this video, I'll explain to you how you can receive a fourth stimulus check before the end of this year. First things first, states that ended crisis-era unemployment programs saw modest job gains.
Let us be clear. While we are making progress in protecting working families, an enormous amount of work remains before us. In the richest country in the history of the world, the working families of this country continue to struggle economically, with millions of our people continuing to live in desperation. Sometimes inside the Beltway, we can forget that reality.
What are your thoughts on this, everybody? Will President Biden get the job done and send out the fourth stimulus check? Leave a comment down below saying yes or no. And here's what I want you to know about Speaker Pelosi and her thoughts on the stimulus relief.
As you know, Wolf, our country is facing unlike anything we've seen in over 100 years. It has the lives and the livelihood of the American people are greatly, and it's urgent, and our economy needs it.
By the way, the House of Representatives will return to Washington, D.C. next week, and this sets up the latest test for President Biden's economic agenda to be approved. You guys also have to know that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi plans to hold a procedural vote as soon as Monday to move forward with a handful of Democratic priorities, which includes the $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure legislation passed by the Senate.
And it will cut child poverty in this country in half, according to the experts. And it funds all the steps I've just described to beat the virus and create millions of jobs. In the coming weeks and months,
Is we have a lot more in common than most people think we do. All right, poll after poll. Should we raise the minimum wage to a living wage? Yes. Should we rebuild our crumbling infrastructure?
And a $3.5 trillion Democratic plan to expand the social safety net. Folks, Speaker Nancy Pelosi and many other Democrats do want to help out the American people. They want to send out more stimulus relief.
And we want to put money in the pockets of the American people so that they can have some confidence and spend in our consumer economy to inject demand and create jobs.
And folks, that is great news for us. Some Republicans like Mitch McConnell do not want to send out the stimulus payments. Everybody, do you believe that Speaker Pelosi can unite the Republicans and Democrats in sending out the fourth stimulus check? Leave a comment down below saying yes or no. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. And share this video with your friends and family, because I'm going over the very important stimulus check information. So be sure to stay until the end of this video, everybody.
18 million households spend at least half of their incomes in housing. How the hell do you survive when you spend half of your income in housing? Meanwhile, while working families struggle, the very richest people in this country are doing unbelievably well. 2 people own more wealth than the bottom 40% of the American nation. And let me be as clear as I can be. The decisions that we make as a Congress will determine the very future of this nation. I'm not just talking about the movement toward authoritarianism and the attacks on democracy, which we are seeing every day. We are determining whether or not we are going to have an economy that works for all of us or just the very wealthiest people.
Do you have any doubts that this will get passed, and when do you think it'll get passed in the House?
No doubts whatsoever. Tomorrow morning, last night, our distinguished Majority Leader, Mr. Hoyer, gave notice to members when the Senate bill passed that we would be coming to the floor on Friday morning. We have to give 24 hours notice of bringing a bill to the floor. And so that will be Friday morning, and it will be a lively, a wonderful debate. We're very proud of the legislation. We'll have a strong bipartisan vote, and hopefully by noon we'll be finished. That will only depend on how carefully we have to come in small numbers to the floor of the House to vote. But our debate will be finished, and we're very proud of it.
Yeah, I want to take a few minutes to talk to those who have served in our military and are currently serving, but also to our veterans, especially those families that have been impacted or have served in Afghanistan. When we see the visuals and the pictures, it's painful. It's painful to think that after 20 years, this is the way that our president chose for us to exit a country, a people, and I think it's discouraging to many of us.
That will cause immediate and long-term damage to our economy and send many of our most successful businesses and the jobs they provide abroad. 1. They propose increasing taxes on all kinds of businesses, large and small, leading to lower wages, fewer jobs, and higher prices for consumers. 2. They would allow and encourage rival countries to change the international tax system for the worse. 3. They want to raise our taxes on our businesses in hopes that other countries may raise theirs sometime in the indefinite future, while ceding U.S. taxing rights to our competitors today. 4. They propose enacting a double death tax, particularly harmful for family farms and small businesses. 5. They want to substantially increase taxes on investors, entrepreneurs, savers, and retirees. 6. They want to drastically expand the powers of the IRS while limiting its accountability, and turn banks into private investigators for monitoring law-abiding Americans.
Mr. President, the average Social Security benefit today is just $14,000 a year. And as someone who will be the next ranking member of the Budget Committee, I intend to do everything I can, not only to oppose vigorously any efforts to cut Social Security, I'm going to do everything that I can to expand Social Security benefits. And, in fact, the best way to expand Social Security is to ask the wealthiest people in our country to pay more into the system by scrapping the cap on income that is subject to the Social Security payroll tax. Mr. President, as you know, right now, a billionaire pays the same amount into Social Security as someone who makes $117,000 a year. You got a multimillionaire here, somebody's making $50 million, somebody's making $117,000. They both contribute the same amount into the Social Security Trust Fund. This is regressive, this is unfair, this is absurd. If we lifted this cap and applied the Social Security payroll tax to income above $250,000, not $117,000, but $250,000 a year, we could not only extend the solvency of Social Security for decades to come, which is what we want to do, but we would also provide the resources necessary to expand Social Security.